negative. It's this emotional drain. It's sort of this vacuum that just sucks up energy. And that's insane. That's crazy. I don't know anybody. I mean, yeah, everyone does embarrassing, stupid things, and people reflect on those stupid things, and it helps them from not doing those stupid things again. But I don't think a lot of people that don't have social anxiety really reflect on those a whole ton more than is healthy. My name's Jake. I have had social anxiety since I was probably like early teens, 13, 14. I still have it today as much as ever. The only thing that's changed is I've learned how to manage it better. I understand the kinds of things that trigger that anxiety, but yeah, it's definitely still a huge presence in my life. I thought it would be fun to make this video and kind of just address those typical issues that people with social anxiety might have, and maybe to help other people that don't have it understand how to interact with people, their friends and family that do. Imagine that you're preparing to speak at some kind of a conference or event, and you are walking up to the stage with your notes in your hand. You might be feeling pretty damn nervous. You could have heart palpitations, clammy, sweaty hands, difficulty breathing, flushed skin. You might just be really cold. Imagine that kind of a feeling when you go to check out at the grocery store. Imagine being the kind of person that gets that nervous just to talk to the cashier. You might run into someone that you know at the grocery store and have to have a conversation about how your life is going. Imagine getting that level of nervous feeling from simple interaction. And that in a nutshell is how my social anxiety has manifested itself. Super duper not fun. Super duper wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but that's the funny thing is we've got it, so we have to deal with it. I remember being in 5th grade, we went as a class to an elderly, or like a retirement center, all of us together with our teacher, and I believe maybe even the principal was there. There were a lot of adults that went with us. And we played games, we sang some songs for these elderly folks, and I remember being in that room and I was just goofing off with some buddies, and I did that thing that people used to do for some reason where you pretend to slap yourself, hold up your hand, and it makes a really loud clapping noise, which fools no one, so I don't know why you would ever do that. Anyway, and I did that, and I somehow cupped my hands perfectly in such a way as to summon this loud clap, and everyone in the room goes silent and looks over at me. Just looking at me. And I remember being terribly embarrassed. And I did not get sent to the principal's office because I had never been in trouble once in my life yet at school. But I did get a stern talking to from the teacher. I have internalized the embarrassment that I felt from that. It was funny, and it's funny now, and I can laugh about it, but it's something that actually recurs in my mind. I think about that event like a lot. There's about 30 events that have happened in my life that were especially embarrassing or humiliating for me, and they cycle through my head like old films. Multiple, I would say 15, 20 times a month, I'll just have this I can't get it out of my head kind of a moment. And that's insane. That's since I was 13. I've had stuff like this happen since I was 13 or 14. At least once a month, I have thought about that stupid moment where I clapped my hand across my face in 5th grade. That's insanity, but it's also social anxiety. If I have one piece of advice for anyone out there who is suffering from it, just know that it's not your fault. That was the hardest thing for me. I blamed myself. It was a weakness. It's not something I can control 100%, but I can absolutely have influence on. And that's the most important thing to remember. It's not your fault. There are things you can do to address it. The second big thing is to understand that even a little bit of help goes a long way. So if you haven't spoken with anybody about it, and I'm not talking even a psychiatrist, I'm talking about a close friend, family member, just whoever in your life that you trust, that's your confidant, that you can approach with these sorts of issues, I would strongly encourage that if you haven't really talked to anybody about it, just develop just a small network, just a couple people that you can talk to about it. That I think that can go a long way, because once you speak about it, it helps you form your own opinion of the issue. And if you tell yourself that, it sucks, but it is what it is and it's not my fault, I'm trying, and here are the things that I tried today, like it's an affirmation of the actions that you're taking to not fix it, to help make you feel better, but it's also an affirmation that it's not your fault. Such a big deal. Such a big deal. If you're watching this right now and you do have anxiety issues, please, I would encourage you, shoot me a message. Hit me up on, Facebook or Twitter or on here. I'm more than happy to talk with anybody. But also I would encourage you to get help from your own support network. People care about you way more than you would even believe. And they just want to see you succeed. They want to see you live a healthy, good life. If that's too difficult right now, I'm a pretty approachable dude. Hit me up. If you are someone who is friends with or knows someone with social anxiety, I would feel pretty special to know that person would admit that to me. Because for me, I hate it. It's such a pride issue. Like, I'm fine. Like, I don't have any issues. Like, I'm in my mid-20s and in good health. Like, to me, it was such a sign of weakness. And for them to be able to trust you with that knowledge and not fear your judgment, or it's worth the fear of your judgment for the help that you can provide, that's such a big deal. That's such a big deal, and it's so cool that they would do that. Help them gauge where they're at and offer, and this is for the people with social anxiety too, you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you want your friends to push you out of the comfort zone, but not everyone's at a different level. Like for me, I would die if I had to go see a movie alone. That if I saw somebody that I knew, even if I didn't see somebody that I knew, all these strangers are like, wow, that dude's at the theater alone. Like, he has no friends. And, what's worse is this is a romantic comedy. Like, what are you doing with your life? But for other people with social anxiety, maybe that's a form of solace. They can go lose themselves in a film and go laugh along with the crowd. So everybody's got their different triggers. Generally, anxiety for me and for a lot of people, it's kind of like a wave. And at the high point in the wave, I don't want to talk to hardly anybody. Not even my friends will text me, I won't reply. I just want to just need to get through it. But then there are some low points where I almost feel normal, and I kind of want to go to parties and meet people. So definitely that's something to be conscious of, when you're trying to get your friend out of the comfort zone, or if you yourself, as someone dealing with social anxiety, yourself the best. You want to push yourself out of that comfort zone. You want to stretch that social circle a little bit. And I don't know what that challenge is for you. For me, it's like asking girls out. I have done it once in the last, like a year and a half. And I got turned down, but I lived, and I can move on. Like, the god of denial didn't come down and smite me where I stood. I expected it. I closed my eyes and thought, this is it. She said, no, I'm gonna die. And I didn't. I opened my eyes, and she was still there, and it was pretty awkward. for sure. But then I walked away, and I hope she walked away. Oh man, I felt better after. And I know for some people that's doable. Like, you could go out and do that. So, you know, if you're pushing your friend out of their boundaries, out of that comfort zone, just be respectful of where they're at. But also, if you're a person with social anxiety, just also understand that your friends are just trying to help. They just want to see you happy too. So it's like, even if it's not right for you, at least you can take comfort in the fact that they want to see you succeed and they want to see you happy and healthy. Well, that's about all that I had to talk about today. Nothing too crazy. You know, certainly reach out to me. I'm going to put some links in the description below to some websites that have helped me out. And absolutely, you know, the suicidal hotline, if you're in a dark spot, if you've gone way too far, give them a call. They'll get you set up with some local help. So, you know, whether that's a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, much rather see you do that than do nothing. And of course, reach out to me if this is something you're suffering from, or if you have friends or family that you see suffering from this illness. You know, it may not ever get cured. There may not ever be a magic switch that they wire that fixes it. But know that there's always ways to help. Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe I'll make future videos, you know, talking about social anxiety depending on the reception of this. And again, if you are dealing with any of the issues described and you feel like you don't have anybody you can turn to, I know how scary it is to reach out to a complete stranger like a therapist for the first time and admit all of these to a total stranger. You absolutely hit me up. Just let me know what's going on, and I will help you get the help that you need. I'll help you talk through this with yourself. You matter. There are people that care about you a lot more than you know, and just keep on keeping on. I know you can do it. I definitely have this issue in this situation where it just loops back in my head over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's super tiring. I wish I could just erase it, you know, hypnotize myself and get rid of it. But that's definitely, totally, absolutely what social anxiety feels like.